You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife. Freedom of information. They're coming for you. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Narcissists cause many problems for people. Those of you who've been involved with them will know full well what they are. This is the case for Harry. Not only, of course, is he in the sustained devaluation as the consequence of the way that his wife treats him, but as part of that sustained devaluation, she's hanging him out to dry. As I have explained elsewhere, his admissions about his drug use will be used against him by her at some future point. Furthermore, the various disclosures that have been made as a consequence of the content of WA will also be used against him. As I explained in my video, she's hanging him out to dry. Harry's wife, having no emotional empathy for her husband, placing him in a period of sustained devaluation, is going to use all of this information and its disclosure against him. Furthermore, the fact that she failed to prevent him disclosing this in the first place, as someone with emotional empathy would have done, or perhaps even encouraged him to release this information, because of course it served her purposes at the time to encourage him to do so, has then resulted in multiple problems for Harry and also, through collateral consequence, for her. One of the major issues that has arisen for Harry concerns his admitted drug use, and this has come to the attention of something called the Heritage Foundation. For those of you who are unaware, the Heritage Foundation is an American conservative think tank based in Washington, D.C., that is primarily geared towards public policy. The foundation took a leading role in the conservative movement during the presidency of Ronald Reagan, whose policies were taken from Heritage's policy study, Mandate for Leadership. The Heritage Foundation has had significant influence in US public policy making. It is among the most influential public policy organizations in the United States. So, they wield some considerable influence, and Harry has come within their sights. Why is this? Well, they have launched a Freedom of Information request about him. What does this Freedom of Information request seek? Well, the correspondence states, Dear FOI officers, pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act and the implementing FOIA regulations of the Department of Homeland Security, Office of the Secretary, 6 CFR Part 5, I respectfully request the following records, or records containing the following information, that DHS, US Customs and Border Protection, and US Citizenship and Immigration Services have within its possession. Section 1. All records within the alien file, A file, of Prince Henry Charles Albert David, date of birth 15th of September 1984, of the British royal family, aka Prince Harry, aka His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales, aka the Duke of Sussex, including, but not limited to, any and all applications for immigration benefits filed, whether or not adjudicated, any and all forms I-213, any and all forms I-275, and any and all forms I-877. Section 2. All records pertaining to the Duke of Sussex, in the following system of records maintained by CBP and DHS: Automated Targeting System, Advanced Passenger Information System, Border Crossing Information System, US Customs and Border Protection TECS, Non-Federal Entity Data System, DHS use of the Terrorist Screening Database, CBP Intelligence Records System, DHS Automated Biometric Identification System, Electronic System for Travel Authorization, ESTA, Non-Immigrant Information System, Arrival and Departure Information System, Electronic Visa Update System. Section 3. All records relating to any requests for waiver pursuant to Section 212D3 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, including but not limited to email communications within the DHS Office of the Secretary, the USCIS Office of the Director, the CBP Office of the Commissioner, or any subordinate office within those named departments or agency, or a record of any communication between any of those named entities and the US Department of State, the US Embassy in London, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or US Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It then provides various definitions of words that have been used in order to ensure that it is fulsome in its request. And it also requests attachments to the relevant documents. It contains a fee waiver request and explains that it is a request by a member of the news media for information of public interest made in my capacity as an author for the Daily Signal, a major news outlet. I actively gather information of potential interest to our Daily Signal audience, and I use my editorial skills to turn raw materials into a distinct work, and I distribute that work to our Daily Signal audience through podcasts or articles. I request that you waive all applicable fees associated with this request. There then is a request for expedited processing, and it then provides the background for this. And basically, Appendix A contains a compilation of news articles and national TV transcripts covering the issue of substance abuse by Prince Harry, including the Prince's own admissions regarding the use of drugs such as cocaine and marijuana in his recent book, Spare. The appendix is comprehensive, and this was sent by Mike Howell, senior advisor and author at the Daily Signal in Washington. There then was an email response dated the 9th of March. Dear Mike Howell, your FOIA request was reviewed as a third-party request and did not include authorization that information on this individual or business can be released to you. All third-party FOI requests must include a signed G28 or G639 form or a signed statement from the individual verifying that his/her information may be released to you, or, if requesting records pertaining to a business or company, a signed statement on company letterhead. Due to privacy concerns, CBP cannot confirm nor deny the existence of records on this individual or business. Your FOIA request has been closed as insufficient. Please resubmit your FOI request along with the required information by logging into your existing Secure Release account. Accordingly, those administering the FOI request have knocked it back. But Mike Howell isn't just going to take that lying down. March the 15th, he submitted an appeal and sent it to the CBP Appeals Officer, US Customs and Border Protection in Washington, setting out what he requires, why he requires it, and why he's appealing against that. Now, if you want to read more about what has been submitted, because there's quite a lot of it, I've included the link in the video description so you can have a read through it yourself, but I've provided you the gist of what's going on. But this has actually been picked up now by the media, because the Mail Online, with an article by Martin Robinson, posed this question. So how did Prince Harry get a US visa? Campaigners demand to know if Duke admitted multiple drug use on application and call for the royal to be deported if he lied about taking cocaine before moving to California. Prince Harry faces a fight to keep his US visa application secret today as campaigners demanded its release to see if he admitted his drug use before emigrating to California with Harry's wife in 2020, Mail Online can reveal. A conservative think tank is in the middle of a battle with Washington, D.C. officials who are staunchly refusing to publish any details, including any texts or emails, citing the Duke of Sussex's privacy. In Spare and the TV blitz that followed, Harry admitted taking cocaine, cannabis and magic mushrooms. He said marijuana and psychedelics really helped with his trauma, while cocaine was more a social thing. Of course, it's laughable that privacy is quoted, and of course Harry would hide behind that also, but the point is this. He has put all of this information out there. He has admitted to his drug use, and therefore it's surely a legitimate question to ask, he's admitted to being a drug user, therefore has he admitted this with regard to his applications that he made prior to his emigration? The Heritage Foundation says his visa application must now be released so the American taxpayer can understand whether Harry declared his drug use. US immigration law has harsh penalties for lying to immigration officials, including deportation and being barred from applying for citizenship. Mike Howell, director of the Heritage Foundation's Oversight Project, said, "This request is in the public interest, in light of the potential revocation of Prince Harry's visa for illicit substance use, and further questions regarding the prince's drug use and whether he was properly vetted before entering the United States." Experts have insisted US visa applications would usually be thrown out if there is any history of drug use. The Heritage Foundation says if border officials did know, Harry's case raises questions over whether he was given special treatment because he's a prince and his wife is a TV star, which they insist would be illegal. In his autobiography, Wow, Harry revealed that he first took cocaine on shooting weekend at age 17. He did a few more lines on other occasions. He also admitted to hallucinating during a celebrity-filled event in California and smoking cannabis after his first date with Harry's wife. He also spoke about his positive experience of psychedelic drugs, saying they brought him a sense of relaxation, release, comfort, a lightness that I managed to hold on to for a period of time. The Duke, 38, made the comments in an interview with therapist Dr. Gabor Mate, an outspoken supporter of decriminalising drugs, who has allegedly used psychedelics to treat patients suffering from mental illness. Harry told him cocaine didn't do anything for me, it was more a social thing and gave me a sense of belonging for sure. I think it probably also made me feel different to the way I was feeling, which was kind of the point. Marijuana is different. That actually really did help me. It's long been speculated that Harry could be working in the US on a fast-track visa, handed to people with extraordinary ability. Ha! Known as a 01 visa. The 01, also used by Canadian singer Justin Bieber and Australian actor Hugh Jackman, lasts for 3 years, meaning that Harry's renewal could be due within weeks. Following the release of Spare in January, where the exiled royal revealed regular drug use, immigration experts warned he may have put his visa at risk after admitting about his illicit drug use. The Heritage Foundation has also compiled a dossier of evidence, including Harry's own admissions in his memoir, various TV interviews about taking cocaine, cannabis and magic mushrooms. So he can't deny, of course, that there has been this drug taking. It's well recorded and is his own admission. This information has been sent to the Department of Homeland Security, US Customs Border Protection and US Citizenship Immigration Services to bolster their Freedom of Information request. But US officials have so far refused to release his visa application, citing privacy concerns. But Mike Howell, director of the Heritage Oversight Project, insists it is in the public interest to know how Harry's case was handled and has appealed the decision. He also wants to see emails, texts, WhatsApps, or other correspondence related to Harry's visa to ensure public confidence in how it was handled. He said Harry's abuse of multiple illicit substances, including marijuana, cocaine, magic mushrooms, and other psychedelic drugs, it's unclear at this juncture whether DHS complied with the law, if in admitting Prince Harry it did so without a waiver or any interview with CBP to assess whether, given his history, he was admissible to the United States. As a result, this widespread media interest in Prince Henry's drug abuse inevitably raises possible questions regarding his application for residency in the United States. Public confidence in the government would undoubtedly suffer if DHS, CBP and USCIS failed to properly vet such a high-profile case. Moreover, if Prince Harry was granted preferential treatment, that too would undermine public confidence in those organisations' application of equal justice under the law. This, of course, all demonstrates that he's a dimwit for making these admissions and releasing this information, but it also evidences the fact that his wife didn't think this through either, because she doesn't care about him. What might be quite entertaining, of course, is that if his visa is revoked and he's booted out of the United States, that might actually save him. Assuming she doesn't follow him as he's forced to retreat back to the United Kingdom, that might just be the activity that creates enough clear blue water between him and his captor that allows him to start to wake up and see what's happened. It could, of course, also mean that it precipitates his disengagement by her, because if he is sent overseas, and has to return back to the United Kingdom, this weakens her control over him. He's not going to be able to provide her with as much fuel, and his character traits and residual benefits will certainly drop considerably, meaning that he's no longer an attractive prospect, resulting in an increased likelihood of her disengaging from him, and of course blaming it on him by saying, "You're the one that took the drugs, you're the one that told everybody you've been taking the drugs." He of course would say, "But you encouraged me to release this information," of which she will naturally deny that, because such a suggestion would be a threat to her control. Accordingly, it remains to be seen whether this information comes forth, but is also demonstrative of the fact that if Harry and Harry's wife had any popularity, few people would be interested in this, and it shows that as a consequence of their diminished popularity, that people are looking for opportunities to score blows against the Sussex household, and this one, on the face of it, is entirely problematic. He's admitted to taking drugs, and then he's gone to the United States. He either should have admitted that beforehand, and if he's failed to do so, then that calls into question the legitimacy of his visa, or he did admit it, and it would appear that he's then afforded special treatment, which the relevant agency would have to explain why it's done. Whichever way they twist, there's going to be a problem here, and of course, this then comes back and bites the backside of Harry and Harry's wife, and once again, she will be singularly unimpressed with this threat to control, resulting in yet more devaluing behaviours for the Prince of Pink Pancakes. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.